Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy Mr. Almighty Lewis back at you with another video. Alright, and in today's video we're going to be talking about how to actually properly take a break. Take a break from working so hard. Take a break from grinding and hustling. And yes, this video might be a little bit contradictory to what you've been told, that you should never take a break and I should always continue hustling and always, putting in those hours and never take a break, never take rests because rest are for people who are lazy and are not capable, who don't feel confident enough to continue grinding, until the very end, until you're depleted, until you fall to the floor to your knees and you're done. All right, so you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. There'll be a subscribe button down below, and make sure you hit that notification icon so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. All right, so how do you actually properly take a break? So I thought this video would be extremely relevant right now because I took a little bit of a break in the past 2 days. I was taking it pretty chill, pretty smoothly, and I was still doing things, but they weren't necessarily the things that you would imagine that would contribute to my ultimate purpose. So. Plus, right now I'm young. I'm in my 20s, so it's not like I necessarily have a specific purpose just yet. I have a couple of them that I'm pursuing. Like one of them being, being a personal development instructor. But I also got other ones, because I also do music. I also do writing. I also do marketing, and I do a couple of other things as well. So I got a couple things and goals and visions for each of those, and it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome, But like sometimes it can get a little bit overwhelming, just given the fact that I have so many purposes, I'm always trying to do something with everything, so when it comes to music, I'm always trying to put out a song, my goal is to put put a song out like once a week. Then I have like these personal development videos, which I try to, pump out. I'm actually trying to pump out one per day right now, which is, it seems pretty solid, pretty doable because there's like no editing that goes into these videos. Actually, they're raw, and if you stay till the end of the video, notice that there is no cuts. I don't cut anything from the video, even if I mess up or something. You might have noticed that in some of the previous videos where I just go blank sometimes, and it just like, oh man, it's a little bit embarrassing, but I still leave it in there, so you guys can see that making videos isn't as easy, even though you may be watching this, you're like, oh man, this guy does it with ease. No, I actually mess up sometimes. And you know what? That's perfectly fine. Like I don't really take that very seriously because, it's part of the journey. It's part of the journey, It's not like I've been making videos for like years upon years upon years, Like I started making videos like a couple years ago, but it wasn't like consistent. Like I would make videos maybe for a couple of months and then I would stop, and then the next year I would come back and make more videos, and then I would stop again, and then like I've pretty much been on YouTube for a couple years now, but I would make the YouTube channel, then I would take it down, then I would create a new one, take it down, new one, and sometimes that's what it takes, in order for you to find out where is the right YouTube channel, but anyway. I took a break, I took a break and I started to just, I sort of took it easy in some of these areas, and I pretty much just started to go out there and enjoy life, man. I just started to talk with my people, with my friends, and I went on my phone, started watching some movies, started watching some music videos, something to just relax and sort of let go of everything, all the pressure and everything from my projects and everything, because it can get pretty overwhelming. And you might have noticed this. You're maybe you found already a specific purpose and you're going full at it, and you've been working for days upon days upon days. You've been staying up late and everything, and it can get pretty overwhelming to the point, to the degree that you just cannot think anymore. Your mind is just completely like depleted. Your emotional energy is completely depleted, which means that you can't take anymore. You can't take any more hits. And that's the thing here. That's why you need to take a break, because you cannot consistently be taking hits left and right. You cannot constantly be failing left and right. If you put yourself in a position where you're failing left and right every single day, eventually you're gonna get pissed off. Eventually you're gonna get angry. You're gonna get frustrated. You're gonna be like, what the hell is going on? And the thing is that you never want to reach a point where you're so frustrated that you're tempted to quit. And that's the reason why you need to take a break, because sometimes shit does not work out, or sometimes you may be putting in a lot of hours towards something, but it's not paying off just yet. So in that case, it's sort of like a long-term investment. So maybe you're working at something, and sure, it may be going well, but at the same time you're not seeing the results of it just yet. So this may just stress you out because you're just thinking about it over and over again. You're putting in all this work, all these hours, and in the back of your mind you're like, well, what if this investment just falls apart and it doesn't happen? So this is the reason why you need to actually go and take a break. And the way that you take a break is not necessarily by easing the quality or the production, or just the frequency of your work. So when you want to take a break, make sure that you take it like completely, like you stop working. You have to stop working and go and do some activity that's fun for you, something choose an activity that you're not very outcome dependent of. So choose something that you can go and do it, and whatever the result is, you don't really care. You're really just doing it for the sake of just doing it, because the last thing you want to do is go and jump onto some other thing that is also something that you want to get really good at, and that it means a lot to you, because then you'll be going into your head again, and you'll be in the same journey, the same loop in your head. And that's not taking a break. That's just you transitioning from one journey to the next, which is also pretty good. That's something that I got going right now. But I recognize that all these are ultimately journeys. Maybe they're different, and maybe I'm better at one journey, or I'm more advanced in one journey than I am in another. And so I'm able to calibrate like that. But that's not me taking a break. That's just me taking a break, but like taking a break from one specific journey. So like I said, sometimes I do music, I do marketing. So like sometimes I do a lot of music. I'm pumping out like maybe like a couple songs per day, or I'm working on a song every single day. And so eventually I take a break from music and I start going into like marketing. And so I'm studying marketing really hard. But you see, I'm not necessarily taking a break completely. I'm actually just taking a break from music in that case. So there's those type of breaks, which I highly recommend if you really want to stay productive. And especially since my audience here should be in their 20s or perhaps younger, you may be looking to try out a lot of things. And in that case, it's perfectly acceptable, and it's perfectly fucking awesome actually if you're able to pursue more than one journey, because right now is the perfect time to really do that. Because you may not have as many responsibilities, you may not have as many things going on for you. There's not really people who are dependent on you, so you're sort of free to go and try all these things. So I'm gonna make a separate video, of course, on how you can actually do that and go and try a lot of things. But like I said, go and try all these things. And yeah. So if you have a specific purpose, though, if you have something that you're really working on, or like I said, you're like me, you're trying out a bunch of things, and you get to that point where you're like, oh my god, like this is just too much. Like I need to take a break, I need to slow it down, because it's getting a little overwhelming. And you feel like at some point your work is going to be compromised, and that's really what I want to avoid here. I don't want your work to be compromised. I don't want you to start, because you're so tired and you're so stressed, you're so angry. Now your content, your production is going to start getting affected, and it's not going to be coming out as good as it can be, because you're pushing yourself beyond your limits already, to the degree that it's not healthy anymore. It's not healthy to be pushing yourself beyond whatever your limit is, because at that point, once you start pushing beyond that, that's when you start compromising on the quality of your work. And this can be for anything. Maybe you're not a creator of content. Maybe you're a boss, and as a boss, and you're constantly putting yourself in positions where your emotions are like really high and nothing's working out, and you don't take a break. Then you'll start compromising in your role as a boss. You may start to mistreat your employees in ways that you can't even notice. and stuff like that. And you know, your employees might notice your attitude, and then you know their production is going to start to lower because you know they start to see that, hey, you know what, our boss here, you know, doesn't seem to have his shit together, and so you know they'll start doubting you, and then it's just going to be a mess. So you don't want that. So make sure that you take a break, whatever it is, whatever your role is. If you feel like you're already getting to that point where you know emotionally you just cannot spend any more energy there, then you have to take a break and you have to go and do activities, like I said, that don't require the outcome to be in your favor. So, you know, these can be things like going watching a movie, maybe playing a video game. But if you're going to play a video game, make sure that that video game, you know, it's not a video game that you really want to master, that you really want to get really super good at, because then you, like I said, you're not really gonna take a break, and now you're just gonna put your mind and everything into that game. And guess what? If that game goes wrong and you don't reach the level that you want to, or you just don't succeed at it, then things are just gonna plummet, and then you're gonna end up in the same place, and it's just gonna add on to that pressure and to that stress and stuff like that. And so I don't want that for you, like I said. So you're gonna have to calibrate properly. So make sure you choose activities in which you don't care. So go and maybe you're not an artist, but you like to draw. So go and draw whatever the heck you want, and you know who cares if it comes out good or not. That's not why you're doing it. Maybe it's reading a book. Maybe you don't necessarily, maybe it's not a, if you're going to read a book, actually make sure it's not like a technical book that's going to teach you something, that it's not an educational book. If you're going to read a book, go and read like a drama book, like this, it has like a story behind it or something. That way, you know, you just get drawn into the story and not necessarily get drawn into techniques and you know, formulas and things and strategies on how to do something, because then that'll get your mind running, and then you're going to want to go back to your work, and that's not taking a break there. So make sure you pick something that you know you don't necessarily care about the outcome. You know, this could be sports as well. Maybe you like a particular sport, soccer, basketball. Go and play with someone or play by yourself, and you know who cares what the score is, just as long as you have a good time with your friends and stuff like that. You know, or go and eat with your friends. Go and do some fun activity like that, you know, something that you just don't care about the outcome, and that's how you really take a break. You know, I myself, you know, I took a break by going and watching a couple of movies, like I said, some music videos, and also I played a little bit of video games, you know, but and it was pretty fun. I had a lot of fun, you know, just playing those video games. I actually relaxed a lot with the video games. It was like a racing game. You know, I've been thinking about making videos about racing games and stuff like that. But I don't know. Maybe in the future, you know, I make some like gameplays, you know, just showing off my skills on how good I am at racing. But yeah, I mean, that's really it, you know. And the thing is that you shouldn't feel guilty, you know, because there's a lot of people who try to make you feel guilty that, oh, you know, like, why are you taking a break? You know, why are you taking a break? Like, breaks are for like people who are weak and who don't give a fuck and whatever, you know, for weaklings and stuff like that. But no, actually, taking a break is actually fairly smart. And if you're willing to go and take a break, good for you, because my friend, you're gonna progress so much faster than the people who are not taking a break, because guess what? They're gonna burn out. They're gonna burn out quick. And the thing is that is if they don't know how to fix that burnout, guess what? They're gonna go backwards. They're gonna think that the solution is to do less of what they're doing, and that's not the solution. Like I said, the solution is not to just you know, take it easy and go softer. You know, the solution is to take a break completely and just go and rest and get your mind focused on something else, something that doesn't really matter, and that's just for entertainment purposes, and it's just for you to just distract yourself and kind of get yourself, you know, out of that headspace. That way you give your mind that time, and you give your heart, you give your emotions that time to just take a break and just, get more in tune, you know, and really recover from all the brutality that you've made it go through, you know, with your journey, because you know you've been hustling, and that's perfectly normal, you know, like hustling and everything. You know, you should continue doing that, but then there comes a point where you just can't, and you have to take a break in order for you to, you know, continue doing that. You know, somewhere down in the future, you know, once your break ends, you can go ahead and go back to your grind and you'll be reloaded, you'll be charged, you'll be ready to go at it really hard once again instead of just slowing down your production. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the notification icon, and there will be some videos right here so you guys can go ahead and check out more of my work. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate you watching my video. Oh, and yeah, and one more thing, like, so for how long should your break be? Because you got a pretty decent break. Like now that you're taking a break, maybe you might want to consider how long that break is. You know, my break was only 2 days, and that's pretty much it. And you can do your break that same way. It could be just 2 days. It could be a week. I wouldn't recommend going more than a week though, just because after a week, I don't know, you may have to. It really depends on what you're doing. Like if there's things that must be done, then make sure they're done. I mean, if you're able to schedule, I guess, ahead, and you're able to leave, put into place some sort of automation system that can, automatically, put up your hard work. Let it seem as though you're still working. Let the people know, whatever it is that you're doing. If you're doing something online, like maybe you can schedule posts and stuff like that, and launches and releases, to still come out. Even during your break period. That way, your audience still feels like you're still doing something, but in reality, you're over there taking a break. But it's for the better, because you need the break. That way, you can give your audience the best possible, content or service or product that you're able to give them. So that's really it. It really depends, but I wouldn't recommend going more than a week. I mean, if you want to take a month or you want to take a vacation, I'll make a separate video on vacations, but like I wouldn't recommend taking a break for more than a week because after a week it might get a little bit hard to recover from that. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.